Hey there, Rip City. Whew, that was a wild, wild game in Utah for your Portland Trailblazers, was it not? Oh, my goodness. Things got a little crazy there in that extra period of time, and we are going to break it all down for you right now here on the fifth quarter. Chad Dewing is out. You just heard him on the post-game show, so I'm filling in for him, and we're going to have a little bit of fun. That's right. This is Chris Burkhardt. You can follow me on the X app over there at Chris J. Burkhardt. We can have a little fun. I got to put the Christmas cap back on, by the way. Yeah, there we go. Got to feel festive. Look, you know what's nonsensical is the computers resetting right when you need them the most. It's like, now I got to get this all figured out so I get my call screener up. Like, why does technology do that? It just knows. It just knows. All right, let's get this thing going. You guys know that we're on the radio. That's where a lot of you are listening right now. But we are also on that fancy YouTube app. So go over to YouTube, type in Rip City Radio, and come join the chat over there. That is where we can continue the conversation all day long, all night long, do the things that we need to do. And if you want to get in on the chat, not just on YouTube, you can call in as well, 503-248-0620, and we will get you in the conversation and break down this crazy little game that happened here in Salt Lake City. Again, Blazers drop one to the Jazz, 118-113. And this is one of those games, man, where similar to what happened just a few nights ago in Cleveland, right? Where the team just came out of the gate slow, lethargic. It's weird that they come out slow after playing games against Milwaukee, where they came out just incredibly fast, right? Came out and were attacking, and they were shooting the ball well, and they get out to that 26-point lead before we know how that one ended. They eventually dropped it, which is unfortunate. But we need to see more of that when we watch these games. We need to see the Blazers come out fast. And then they won't need these frantic games and these frantic fourth quarters to make it a ball game. And as some of you were pointing out in the chat, yeah, that fourth quarter was absolutely crazy, man. We got dunks on dunks on dunks. And then we got just that crazy block by Tamani Kamara late in the game to help send it to overtime, right? So they played well in that second half. It was that first half that absolutely doomed them. It was really interesting. We're getting the comments again in the YouTube chat. Some people, the refs are gambling, cheaters. That was one comment. Got some love for Malcolm Brogdon up in there. Let's see. Tugboat says we need to hook you up with some scenes and transitions. We have some transitions. We got some things. Don't you worry. I know you're the super producer of the Just Two Fans podcast, but you're talking to me over here. Talking to me. I know what I'm doing. Mike Oakes knows what he's doing. It's that Michael Shacker guy we got to get up to speed. But we'll get on it, Tugboat. Don't you worry. Let's see. Sharp with the dunk of the year, says Sean. And it's interesting because, I don't know, Sharp had like the dunk of the year, and then it was almost surpassed like 2 plays later because Tamani Kamara had an absolutely massive one. And of course, watching the broadcast was quite hilarious because they have Tom Habistro on screen trying to break down some analytics for you, and then Sharp throws it down, and it's just like, wow. Like he was kind of left speechless. It was kind of funny. But other than that, guys, what are your takeaways from this one? Grab the phones, 503-248-0620, or as I said, get in the chat, give us your thoughts. Plenty to talk about. And for those of you, I know I got some of you in here who are football fans too. We might talk a little college football playoff because things are going to get crazy when that thing comes out tomorrow, because there is a 100% chance of a deserving team being left out, and that's going to be absolutely crazy. I've already had multiple conversations in group texts with people, close friends of mine. All of us disagree on who should be in, so we'll talk about that. But what was the bright spot in this one? Granted, the team lost, and that's very unfortunate. And of course, let's put the caveat on that. A little bit of a disclaimer. Like, it's unfortunate depending on who you were rooting for, because, again, Portland and Utah came in, kind of neck and neck in the standings. Portland with a half-game lead, if you will, over the Jazz. And when the Jazz get that win, that helps out in the race for that number 1 overall pick. We'll see where that goes. But there was good in this game despite the loss. And, of course, that overtime, that fourth, the officiating. We'll get to that. But a big, big bright spot in this one. Shaedon Sharpe, second game in a row, went out, had himself a game. Did he not? 25 points. He was 9 of 20 shooting, hit a couple big threes, and as has been alluded to in the chat, had perhaps the dunk of the year to this point in the NBA when he and the rest of the Blazers tried to lay poor Walker Kessler to rest. I mean, that dunk was incredible. And as I tweeted after both of those happened, like, the mark of a legendary broadcaster is when all you got to do is scream in the middle of a highlight, and it just speaks to the people. Like if you could be in the middle of the mall and you could hear a Lamar Hurd scream, and you'd know that just means that something good just happened. Someone has a broadcast up. Someone just dunked the ball. Someone just dunked the ball. The Utah broadcast replayed that dunk twice. Even they were like, yeah, we got to give this one respect. Shout out Jamie Friedlander in the comments as well, saying the college football playoff is going to be insanity. You can go listen to his takes. I have no problem plugging the podcast that I'm on occasionally, the Just Two Fans podcast. Give it a like. It's good stuff. If you like a bunch of college bros who have known each other forever, who all pretend like we know what we're talking about, myself included, but in the end, just, talk around in circles, you'll enjoy the podcast. It's absolutely wonderful. But what else in this game did you like besides Shaedon Sharpe? I think most people will say the following name. Scoot Henderson, 17 points. He looked good. Granted, yes, he did have the occasional, the things where he still kind of struggles, but a 17.5 rebound game, 3 assists in there as well. You do want to see him get that going a little bit more, but that's a good game for him, right? You had career high 13 points. Yeah, 17. That's pretty nice now too, right? Oh, because when you did that 2 games in a row, hey, he tied his career high 13. You're like, oh, he needs more. 17. You love it. You love it. One step closer to getting me that 20 burger that I want so bad. I want so bad. All right. If you want to join in on the conversation, 503-248-0620. And that's where we're going to go to right now with Randy in Portland. Randy, welcome into the 5th quarter. The floor is yours.
Hello, Mr. Burkhardt. How are you tonight?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Well, I'm great. I used to admire your broadcasting skill, but, frankly, I'm a little concerned with it now because you've turned into a duckling. A duckling is someone who roots for the Oregon football program and has green glasses on, and they can't see anything. They can see absolutely, positively nothing except our team and we and what we did and what we're going to do. We're going to play in the Natty. We heard that all year long, and of course, once again, we fall short. How many years in a row has this happened? It's just going to keep happening. Now, let me explain. I'm going to be optimistic, and I'm going to be advisory on this and help the Ducklings.
Okay.
Listen to me now. The reason that your team falls short is because you and your program, yes, you're saying you and your program are soft. S-O-F-T. Soft. Okay? Now listen to me. Here's an example. Soft and entitled. Oh, we've got this. We've got 5 stars. We've got Phil's money. We've got uniforms. We've got a nice new practice facility. We've got a coach from Georgia who is soft. What? What do you mean he's soft? Yeah. Tell me, are you going to get a tattoo of your wife on your side, or does that just reek of insecurity? And shall we say that you've been neutered? Let's just put it that way. That's one thing. And then all of a sudden the entitled women's volleyball program comes out and says, oh, we want as much money as the men. We should get it. That's called entitlement. Entitlement. So your program and your coaches think we've got all these stud athletes. We're just going to roll them out there, and we're going to beat Washington, who has 3 stars and 2 stars and all these other players, and yeah, we'll take care of business. They got lucky last time. Well, and the time before that, too. And we shouldn't have done it. Went for it on 4th down. They just got lucky. That's all there is to it. Here's what happened. Their offensive line dominated you. Their defensive line dominated you.
Yeah.
Their quarterback dominated.
So,
yes, their quarterback.
Hey, Randy, I've listened a long time. Are you going to get to do you got a point?
Yes, I'm making it. I just said your team is soft. And if you weren't soft and felt entitled, you might be better. Unlike the other team who has won close games and fought to win games, you guys just think, oh, we just roll them on out there and we'll beat anybody. It's not going to happen until your program is no longer soft. I'll just leave it at that. You know, by the way, Ty Thompson, I'm waiting for his billboard down there in L.A. There was the bodacious one. What's this one going to be?
It'll look
Ty
glorious.
one on?
It'll
Is
look
that what that
glorious.
billboard's going to say down there? Huh?
Yeah, it will. It'll look glorious. I got this for you, Randy. So make sure that this PC's on, Oaks.
6 to shoot. Kuznar to Shellstad, the freshman for the game. Shellstad splashes it from outside. 1.4, McDaniel for the tie. No good. Oregon wins. Jackson Shellstad, first ever game at home.
That's right. West Lynn's finest, Jackson Shellstad, can't even speak. Now, Randy, I get what you're laying down, liking to troll me like that, but you see, I was born a duck. I'm a proud duck, and there's nothing wrong with wearing some yellow tinted glasses. In fact, a lot of the times they want to give you a little bit of UV protection. They give you those yellow tinted glasses, my man. Now, I want to give you a little thing here. I know we got lots of people who call in, some of them business owners, and sports business told me, have you ever heard of Bergen Korf, right? Basking in reflected glory, cutting off reflected failure. Yeah? That's because a lot of people who are fans like to say, we win, we win. They lost, they lost. Whenever your team does bad, it's always they. So if I'm out here saying we, when the Ducks lost, that's a good thing. No Korf over here. Ride or die, always go Ducks, even in a loss, my man. That's how it's supposed to be. Just like the people in my chat, right? Just like Han in King City, just like Sean McCann, just like Tugboat, I'm going to assume, even though I know him and he's not a Blazer fan, but I'm just going to assume. Everybody Blazer fans, right? Ride or die, Rip City, nonstop, all the time. Don't go any other way. Don't let anyone knock you down. We can be as soft as we want. CJ McCollum once made a nice comment about being soft like crepes, and all that did was make me hungry, okay? Nothing wrong with it. The Ducks fly together. Emilio Estevez taught me that. Tugboat does say, first of all, it's beach volleyball. Put some respect on their name. Volleyball sounds fun right now. Let's see. Colby says we have to admit Randy's speaking the truth. No, Colby. Don't get in on that. Don't get in on that. I am not about taking my program down or my university that I love so. All the many hours I spent at the Allen Hall of Journalism. And you don't have to tell me, oh, Washington beat you up front. They beat you on the line. Yeah, I watched the game. I know exactly how it went down. You got to give mad kudos to Kalen DeBoer and those Huskies, because everything that they did bad in the first matchup, they worked on. And they housed Oregon in all of Oregon's biggest strengths. It's a good team right there. It just sometimes hurts to admit it. All right, going to take a quick little break here on the show. When we come back, what's the scoot? Scoreboard reports. We got plenty to get to. I'm going to let my producer know what we're going to talk about next. And we will hear from Coach Billups here on the fifth quarter. You want to call in 503-248-0620. Jump in the YouTube chat as well. Give me more Blazer fans. Less Duck haters calling in on my show. Chris Burkhardt here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.
We're Team USA, gathered from all across America.
He took off from far and got, we're doing it again! Tomahawk jam to Money Kamara, and the Blazers are within 3 with 1:59 remaining.
That was your shot of the night. Always a good chance to get in there and just listen to Lamar Hurd scream after a good dunk. I just love it. Ow! We got one on the sound bar in the other room when I'm producing that I play, and it's funny because that was last year. That was last year. And it's just always there all the time. It's absolutely incredible what he does when he makes those calls. It's classic. Now, I said this, this is supposed to be a Blazer postgame show. I said we might talk a little college football, but man, everyone wants to talk college football in the chat. It's absolutely interesting. I love it. I love it. College football always has something to talk about. I do think it's crazy, though, that there are people just out on Dan Lanning as if Dan Lanning's just the worst. Like, Dan Lanning's been great. Like, the return on Phil's investment in Dan Lanning, yeah, he's going to be playing in a New Year's Six bowl. Yes, he lost to UW twice this year, but by a combined 6 points, and gave me as a fan 2 absolutely incredible football games to watch. He's going to continue to build this thing the right way. And it's not as if he lost to a UW team that was bad. Like, that UW team is really freaking good. I mean, I don't know who's watched that team and thinks that, like, they got lucky in beating Oregon twice. No, they're a really, really good football team. Lots of good dudes on both sides of the line. Michael Penix throws one of the most accurate footballs in the country. The worst thing is, dude, when you give him time in the pocket, holy smokes. And smart enough, they attacked where Oregon was weakest. What's Oregon's weakest spot in their defense? Safety play. And that's why in both games they got beat badly on deep balls. I actually thought linebackers played incredibly well trying to keep up in man coverage despite the fact they're giving up speed. But man, you sit there and you watch Michael Penix get to throw to a guy like Rome Odunze, and it's like, yeah, game, set, match. Those guys are incredible. And it's one of those games where, honestly, like, Oregon played well. They came out of the gate slow, of course. Had the lead in the fourth quarter. Bo Nix had a pretty good game except for that one pass right after Penix threw one. The INT, that is. Like, I don't know. Like, I get everyone wants to have, like, the fall guy, and everybody wants to complain about something. But sometimes I sit back as a fan, and I watch a game, and, kind of like Han said to start this entire chat, great game. That was exciting, even though his favorite team lost. And he was talking about the Blazers-Jazz game. And that's how I feel about the Ducks after watching them. Yeah, they lost, but dude, Chad called me this morning to talk about it. I was like, yeah, I that was incredible. Edge of my seat football. That's exactly how I want it. Would I have liked to win? Yeah. But someone has to lose. That's the nature of sport. Like, there are people in Georgia right now upset because they likely lost their chance at a college football playoff this year just because of how crazy that top end is right now. Does that mean Kirby Smart's a bad coach? No. Just means he lost to Alabama in the SEC championship game. And as a Duck fan, having to deal over the last few years with Willie Taggart, Mario Cristobal, like the things that irritated me about Cristobal, I don't see Dan Lanning do. I like Dan Lanning as a coach. I think he's going to be really good. I think what sucks is that Washington's going to the Big Ten with you, and you're going to have that rivalry game at the end of every single year, and Kalen DeBoer's not going anywhere. Like, that guy, coach of the year, he's been so good. And a history of winning, not just flash in the pan with UW. I mean, a history of winning. He's good. He's real good. So sign me up. My number one rival is the Huskies, and they're going to give me intense, incredible football games that get me excited. I have no problem with that at all. At all. But what say you? It looks like Colby and Jamie are going at it. I can't even keep up anymore. I love it. I love it. Yes, they are. They're going. They're talking about DeBoer and Lanning. It's just interesting. Like, I know it's like, I just don't understand why when something happens, like, we all also want to, like, instantly want to go to hate. Like, I don't hate anything that is going on with the Oregon program as a whole, except for that loss. All right? The loss hurts, but that's football, man. That's sport. Going undefeated were easy. Everybody would do it. One team has gone undefeated in Pac-12 play since the conference expanded, and that happened this year. It's rough. It's rough. Jamie says because everything has to be black and white. It's true. That's the nature of the beast when it comes to commenting in the chat and on social media. Nothing can be nuanced. That's why I love the radio show, because I'm not limited by, characters on a tweet or, who actually, is allowed to see my post on Facebook or whatever. I just get to rant forever on here and then deal with callers. And if you do want to call in, 503-248-0620, and you should know the drill by now, but if you're like, who are these names he keeps talking about? Like, who the heck's Jamie? Who's Colby Jack? Like, I know that that's a cheese, but, like, he's acting like it's a real person. No, it's a person. It's just in the YouTube chat. Go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and you can join the chat where right now Colby and Jamie are having a nice little football chat because football's amazing. Football's amazing. We are probably going into what is going to be the most controversial college football playoff vote, and I'm here for it because storylines abound, and it's absolutely fun. And one more time, that phone number, 503-248-0620, where as Chad would say, let's head out to East Amity where we got Ralph the landscaper. Ralph, welcome in to the fifth quarter.
Hey, how you doing, Burkhardt?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Now, this is like your fourth run at this by yourself in a row here, right?
This is round number 3.
In a row. I mean, I know you do it every so often and a couple times in a row here and there all year. But that's good that they're giving you some reps. I mean, it's a good thing because you deserve it. I think you do a great job on this and the other things you do. I've heard you talk about the high school games and the help in the morning time and all that. You do a nice job. So, hey, I wanted to ask you something. I met your papa there, right?
You did.
Yeah, and he told me, he goes, I'm going to see him tomorrow. And did he tell you that we met, or?
Oh, he did. I actually went to show him the clip of you calling in and talking to Chad. I was like, hey, this was on the radio show last night. This guy stopped in, and he goes, oh, yeah, was it Ralph? That's what he said. And I was like, yep, he stopped in. And he's like, oh, yeah, I talked to that guy. So, yeah, he was glad you stopped in and glad that he got some radio pub from it.
Yeah, he was real busy. I mean, that guy works his butt off. You know that. You've worked there a lot. So, it's not like he's just some guy who owns a joint and sits around and pushes pencils and, watches YouTube like I'm watching these guys go at it on YouTube here. But he's a hard worker. It's in case you guys, I know you don't want to plug it, but I'm going to because I like the place. It's Jim's Original Steer. And that's in Gresham, is that technically right?
No. That's still Portland.
Okay, Portland. Yeah, I don't know. I know it's close to Gresham, though, right?
It's you got a ways to go. Gresham's out there off like 182nd. The market's right there on 122nd, but still, yeah. I mean, it's a little bit of a drive.
Yeah, that's a little. Yeah. Anyway, it's a great place. All those guys in there work hard, and it's good quality product. I just made the steaks, and I got the pepperonis, and I got the chicken breast, and I got all kinds of. I got 5 or 6 different things, and it's all was very, very good. I got bacon, and it was all very good. I especially like, and I think you talked about it, that pepperoni sticks or whatever they call those deals they have up there on the top of the counter. They were out of the hot, but I got some teriyaki and some regular, and they were very good. That's a good thing. But anyway, what's your overall take on this game tonight, Burkhardt? I mean, I know you guys are talking a lot about success and moving forward and improving. And I'm not fishing for any particular answer, but this is one where if I were to evaluate it, I would say that they're improving because these guys fought back and they kind of had a bad half. It's like the Pac-12 deal there. That one team, the purple team, whichever one they were, that's Washington, right? They've had adversity and they've won all these close games, and they've had to come back, and they just kept it. That's good for your spirit, and that's good for you. It toughens you up a little bit when you're behind, or you have to work extra hard or push the wheelbarrow up the hill a little harder than normal, or work in the rain or whatever. That makes you tougher, and I think that's good for this team. Would you agree with that?
I think it is always good for a team if you can face a little adversity and get tougher along the way.
Yeah, and that's what they had to do today. Now, Utah, I don't know if Utah is any good or not, but the bottom line is they had to face some adversity and fight back from it and go at it a little bit to just they could have curled up in the corner, and they didn't. That says a good thing, and I think it says good things about the coaching staff too, that these guys are willing to play for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be completely honest here, Ralph, the very first day I worked at the meat market for an entire 10-hour shift, I wanted to get home and curl into a ball.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was ready for that adversity. So you're right. It's a wild job, but you're also right in your analysis of the sports ball over here. When you don't give up and you keep fighting back, and then you get those comebacks in those fourth quarters like they had tonight, there's always good out of that. There's nothing bad about that. I mean, the loss hurts, but when you can teach a team to fight, that's a good thing.
Yeah, because then they're going to win one, and they're going to come back, fight, and win, and then all of a sudden it's just going to build their confidence. Number one, and it's also going to give them that feeling inside, like that felt so good. We were down, and we came back, and we won, and we had to climb an uphill battle, and we took care of business. And then when they're in the down in the valley next time, they know, hey, I know at the top of that hill is a good feeling. Just kind of like going to the Original Steer and getting some teriyaki beef jerky and some original beef jerky. It's going to feel good in your belly when you get it.
Absolutely, it is. I know Chad's getting mad at me. I haven't got him any. I got to make a stop in there, get him his supply.
Well, I have something. Here's what you can tell Chan. Listen, get off your butt and go out there yourself. How's that?
I will tell him those exact words. I would say if Ralph can do it, you can do it.
Somewhere you go find a golf course out there to play, and then you go by.
Yeah, what I got to do is I just got to talk to Pops and see if we can do just an entire Rip City drive out there in the lobby.
That'd be good. All right, you have a good night, Burkhardt, and I'll talk to you later, okay?
All right, you too, Ralph. Thanks as always. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on the fifth quarter. When we come back, I'm going to give you a scoreboard report, take you around the league and see how the rest of the NBA teams did. Then we're going to hear from Coach Billups, see what he had to say after this tough loss in Utah. Once again, Portland falls to the Jazz, 118-113. Now they take on the Warriors in just a few nights. Chris Burkhardt here on the fifth quarter on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. All right, welcome back into the fifth quarter, and it is time for a scoreboard report. Let's take a look around the NBA, shall we? Where The Warriors, they dropped a 22-point lead and let the Clippers grab the comeback, 113-112. Paul George led the way, 25 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. In Charlotte, the Minnesota Timberwolves continued their hot play, grabbing the 123-117 victory over the home team Hornets. Rudy Gobert, 26, 12, and 3 blocks. Have yourself a night. The Brooklyn Nets, they defended home court and put a stop to the Magic's winning ways, 129-101. Mikal Bridges, 42 points and 3 blocks in that one. In Detroit, the Cavaliers rebounded from their loss to the Blazers, picking up the 110-101 victory. Jarrett Allen with a 19.11 rebound double-double. Cade Cunningham, just 2 rebounds shy of a triple-double, finished with 23, 8, and 11. In Miami, the Pacers, man, they poured it on. They grabbed the 144-129 victory over the Heat, and that was in regulation. No overtime needed. TJ McConnell led the way with 20 points and 11 assists. Jimmy Butler had 33 for the Heat. In Chicago, the Bulls grabbed the 124-118 victory over the Pelicans. Colby White, 31 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. Milwaukee, they grabbed the 132-121 victory over the Hawks. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists. Trae Young, 32 points, 12 assists for the Hawks. In Dallas, the Thunder grabbed the 126-120 victory. SGA with 17, 9, and 5. Luka Doncic, a 36-point, 15 rebound, 18 assists, triple-double. And they lost. Absolutely incredible. The Suns, they win 116-109 over the Memphis Grizzlies. Devin Booker, 34, 10, and 7. Triple J, he had 37 points and 9 rebounds. The Kings, they won over the Nuggets, 123-117. Nikola Jokic, 36 points, 13 rebounds, and 14 assists. Where's the stat on that? Has there ever been a night where two guys had such huge triple doubles like that? And very close to identical stat lines, too. Each scored 32 points. Jokic had 13 rebounds. Doncic had 15. Doncic had 18 assists. Jokic had 14. Both monster triple doubles. De'Aaron Fox, 26 points for the Kings. Lakers, 107-97 over the Rockets. Anthony Davis, 27 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 blocks. And then, of course, the Utah Jazz, 118-113 over the Portland Trail Blazers. And, man, tough night for the Blazers, but they showed fight, as old Ralph the Landscaper pointed out. You like that. One thing this team's got to do is they got to find a way to bottle up what they did in Milwaukee. And that is they have got to come out fast, come out strong. They didn't come out very fast in this one. They didn't come out very strong in this one, and they got to figure out a way to do that. They got to figure out a way to just not come out so slow and lethargic. In this one, it was a 24-point first quarter, a 20-point second quarter, and then 30-plus in both the third and the fourth. Like, the second half was much different. And as Chauncey said after the win in Cleveland, it was a tale of two halves. And it was, because they started out slow, and then they were able to come back, get back in the game, and get the win. So this team really has to find a way to come out strong and come out fast. And speaking of Coach Billups, let's take a chance to head back down to Utah and hear what the Blazers coach had to say following his loss to the Jazz.
Yeah, it was frustrating. It was frustrating to be able to get there. We played a very poor first half that set us back. It really did. We're not good enough to play them type of halves and expect to win a game, to be honest with you. And, we just, the rebounding disparity just crushed us. They are, and we talked about it the whole time, they're the best offensive rebounding team in the league. And so we talked about it, tried to prepare for it. We couldn't, they beat us. They beat us up on the glass. It really hurt us. But with all that being said, we gave ourselves so many chances to win the game. A little frustrating, when we attacking that basket the way that we are, and not coming up, become empty possessions, But it is what it is. It was a tough one, though.
What allowed you to come back there in the fourth quarter?
Just our defense. our defense and our toughness and grit, allowed us to stay in striking distance for one and then to get over the hump. We started making a few shots. Shea kind of got going, made some shots for us. Malcolm hit a couple big ones, and that afforded us the opportunity, to try to win the game.
And then once you got there in the overtime, what went wrong?
Yeah, I just think, we did a pretty good job on our first initial defense, and the ball went on the glass, and we couldn't get the offensive rebound, and then on the flip side, on the offensive end, I thought we did a good job of attacking. We attacked the basket, with ferocity, to be honest with you, and just couldn't get on the line, when it counted.
Shea with a nice night offensively and doesn't show a ton of emotion. Usually you did tonight on both ends of the floor. What did you think of his performance and what he kind of took over the game down the stretch?
Yeah, he did. He took over the game for us. I thought he had a really good performance, really on both sides of the ball. To be honest with you, I thought Shea was focused and locked in most of the night. He and Tumani, those back-to-back dunks were incredible lifts for us. And we kind of rode that wave, but I thought Shea had a good night. I seen him in the locker room. He's doing okay, but, not great.
All right, there you have Coach Billups, and that final question where he says he's doing okay, but not great. That I think Kevin Clabber pointed out. I think he was being asked about that Jeremy Grant, who kind of took a shot to the head and looked a little woozy as he kind of fell to the ground and didn't play much after that. So hopefully he's okay. Don't want to speculate, but that's the thing. You got to go get checked out and see if you go into concussion protocols and all that stuff. Now there's a big debate going on in the YouTube chat, so please go in there and jump in on that. And it's interesting. The debate is again around Oregon head coach Dan Lanning and whether he's good or not. And it's interesting because Colby goes right at me or tags me here, so I see it. And he said, never said Dan is a bad coach. He's just way overhyped and has fallen short against the biggest rival. And like, I don't understand why he's like, I just don't understand that. Like, I don't think he's overhyped. I think like, and this is not to debate. I just want to know, Colby, please play and type it, please. Like, are you a Duck fan or are you a fan of someone else? I just want to know what perspective you're coming in with this, and it's not to fault you or anything, because I think there are plenty of Duck fans, Colby, to be completely honest. There are plenty of Duck fans, and you may be one, I don't know, who do think that Dan is a little overhyped, right? And that they don't like what they're seeing. I am personally just not one of them, and I don't think he's overhyped. I think he's doing a great job, and I do think you're seeing some not really pains, but you're seeing that learning curve, right? Of a guy who it's his second year as a head coach. That's a big jump from being a coordinator to a head coach. It's a completely different game. And I think he's doing really well. Like, I don't think he's overhyped at all. I think he's filling what we thought. If anything, like, you want to talk like overhyped, like, I think Oregon fan completely overhyped Willie Taggart when that hire was done. Like, we bought the Kool-Aid, everybody loved it, right? And he was not a good coach. Mario Cristobal, depends what your definition of overhyped is. Like, Mario Cristobal changed the game for Oregon, right? He and Willie Taggart even. I mean, Taggart gets that too, but changed how Oregon recruits, put Oregon in a good spot. He wasn't a good in-game coach. We told Miami fan that when they got it. His clock management skills leave much to be desired. Dan Lanning, on the other hand, like, yeah, he's made a few mistakes, obviously being uber aggressive on fourth downs and such like that, but he's a really good football coach. And honestly, I think there's a lot of really focus. I'm a college football fan. That's a cop-out, Colby. That's a cop-out. Just tell me who your favorite team is. I was just trying to know your perspective. Yeah, everybody has a favorite team. Like, I am a college football fan. Love the game. But I have a favorite team. It's Oregon. What's your favorite team? It's a simple question, right? And like, so coach is just so weird to me. Like, he won a majority of his games as a head coach. Yes, he has lost to Kalen DeBoer. That does not make him bad. Like, is Nick Saban bad because he loses one or two games a year occasionally? Hell no, he's the best coach in college football history. Is Kirby Smart bad because he lost to Nick Saban today? No. He's one of, if not like the best coach in college football right now. He's built an absolute juggernaut. There are coaches who are overhyped. One of them is at USC, Lincoln Riley. My team is Mount Hood. Colby, that's such a cop-out. Come on, man. Give me a team. Why is that such a hard question? Like the guy I heard today. I heard a guy at the store today. Oregon fan walked up to me, starts talking to me because I was wearing my Oregon jacket, right? And he goes, yeah, it's a tough loss. Starts talking to me. He's like, yeah, but we'll see what happens in the playoff. It's Washington's my second favorite team. What? Whoa. You can't look me dead in the eye and tell me Oregon's your favorite team and then say Washington is your second favorite team. Can't do that. Everybody has a team, Colby, and it's not Mount Hood. Come on. Love you. Mike Oakes doesn't like when I go on rants at all. He always likes to play the music to force me to break. You do know it's the fifth quarter, right, Mike? Fifth quarter goes as long as we want it to go. Take it wherever I want. So he bumps the music louder. Unbelievable. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, what's the scoot? Talk about Scoot Henderson, maybe some more college football because I love it. Chris Burkhardt here on the fifth quarter. You're home of the Blazers. Rip City Radio 620. All right, welcome back into the fifth quarter. What is the Scoot? Well, Scoot Henderson had a good game. He's starting to play better. You love to see it, right? 17 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Shooting, it was meh. 6 of 15. You would have liked that to be a little bit better. But I do say this. I do like the fact that he got those 15 shots. I like the fact that he scored 17 points and he's getting more comfortable on that end. The assist numbers were low for him at only 3, but, I mean, that's something that he's really good at and he's going to get better at. He had 5 personal fouls. Some of those were a little suspect, but he's pretty aggressive on the defensive end. Overall, I thought it was a good game. I really liked it. But these games are so weird to me because, again, one thing I really question with this team, and I want to know how they fix it in the long run, is just how to consistently get DeAndre Ayton more involved. I mean, you had him involved against the Cavaliers, had a really good game. And then tonight, he only gets 8 shots. Like, how is he only getting 8 shots? He needs more than that. In the Indiana game, you gave him the ball like 15 times, dropped 22 points. And, tonight, just 10. But he only had 8 shots. And I don't get that one. I think he's playing really well. He just needs to be more of a, not necessarily the focal point, but a focal point. Like, get him the ball and let him go. And that's what I want to see from him. I don't know why that becomes such a thing, man. I did not know that bringing up Dan Lanning for one small segment was going to lead to such heated debate in the YouTube comment section. So thank you, everybody, for getting in on that. Because even if I think you are objectively wrong, like I Colby, not calling you out to call you out, just saying your name so people know who I'm talking about. Like, I think your assertion on Dan Lanning is wrong. But I'll tell you this, I appreciate you getting the chat going, man. That's what's so fun about college football. And so I love about Colby actually kind of going at my buddies here. So Jamie, Eli, and good old Tugboat, you can find them on the Just Two Fans podcast. Come hang out in there, Colby. They stream on YouTube too. Come poke the bear. It's fun. And then you can listen to us talk. But man, the crazy part about college football is that I don't know if you ever find you can find two fans of the same team, and they might not even think the same. And to prove that out, I've been texting some of my Just Two Fans buddies today, and we've been all over the place. Just ask Jamie about anytime I say the word Bama, he has PTSD of me getting really mad at him. College football is great. It leads to just incredible discussions. And as someone pointed out on YouTube, or on Twitter today. I wish it was a reporter, and for the life of me, I can't remember who it was, so I can't even search it and find it out. But his mentions were ablaze after he said who he thought would be in the top 4. And he's like, that's what I love about college football is every single fan base is so passionate that they're going to defend their people if they truly love them. I think it's amazing. Now, objectively, not even Oregon-colored glasses here, as Randy would say. I think Dan Lanning's really good. I think he's a good coach. Above average. Average is a low bar. And I think he's far above that. He's not you can think Dan Lanning is good as Jamie and Tugboat and Eli do without thinking that he's like top tier yet. Like, he's got work to go to get there. It just got proved by Kalen DeBoer that Kalen DeBoer outcoached him twice in 2 games. But does anyone think Kalen DeBoer is a bad coach? Like, no. Kalen DeBoer's a really good coach with a really good track record of being a really good coach. That's all I'm saying. Like, Dan Lanning's still above average. He's not in the Saban smart tier yet. Like, might get there. Dude's only in his 30s. And you don't knock anybody in their 30s. Happens here. But yes. Yeah, like, dude, yeah, UW outplayed Oregon is what Jamie said. That's without a fact. Or without argument. Absolutely. Great coaching. Dan Lanning thought that what worked in the first game was going to work again. Some coaches will think that way. Sometimes it does. Kalen DeBoer coached his boys up. That's good coaches. Good coaches do. Dan Lanning adjusted midway through the game, and the team looked better. That's what good coaches do, too. How many times have we seen coaches not make adjustments? How many times have we debated bad coaching with the basketball team that this show's about? It happens. Dan Lanning, he's great. All right. You guys, you've been wonderful. To my Just Two Fans, 3 members in the chat, you're wonderful. Colby, keep them going. Get them heated. They deserve it. Poke that bear, my man. Poke it. And everyone else, Han and King City, Sean, everyone else. Sean, got to point out, he did say that Scoot made it on the Sports Center top 10. Or not Scoot, Shay. And that's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. For super producer Mike Oakes back in his cozy home studio, for the boss man Chad Doing, I have been Chris Burkhardt. I will be back at it. What is today? The 2nd. So there's nothing tomorrow. I'll be back on Monday, Courtside Monday, 6 o'clock right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio.